well, I got to shout out DoseOfDion, man, because it was actually the first time I went live on YouTube. And, guys don't know DoseOfDion. He put out a lot of good content for the Detroit Lions.
Look, I have a little bit of a theory. You guys can let me know what you think, but here's just a thought that I have from what I've seen from this team. Think about this. I don't believe Matthew Stafford is the right quarterback for what the Lions are trying to be as a team. I don't think Matthew Stafford's the right quarterback for it. I just don't. From what I've seen, I don't think he's the right quarterback. What do I mean by that? Well, today, we didn't look good. The game wasn't competitive. We threw three interceptions, one with Chase Daniel, but I'm not really counting that. Stafford had 2 picks, right? Stafford had 2 picks in today's game, and we were not competitive. Why is that? Why is that this team is not competitive when Stafford throws 2 picks? Why can we not afford to turn the football over? Think about it. In years past, who has Matthew Stafford been? Who is Matthew Stafford as a quarterback? Let's be real with ourselves. I'm going to be real here. Who is Matthew? Matthew Stafford is a quarterback that will turn the football over. He will turn the ball over. Stafford's always turned the ball over. He does it double-digit times every single year he's in the league. I'm not going to act like he doesn't. He turns the football over. But this season, the problem is when we turn the ball over, it equals loss. We can't afford to turn the football over. And there's more than just, because our defense is bad. No, it's not just that. The reason we can't afford to turn the football over is because we are not explosive enough offensively to make up for that. It's not just talent. It's not, we didn't have Golladay, that's why. No, because it's been like that all year. It's not that we don't have the talent to be explosive enough, because I can not guarantee you, but I can really say that this wide receiver group is comparable to what we had back when Jim Schwartz was here. Back when Stafford had 5,000 passing yards, this wide receiver group was good, this wide receiver group was as good, if not better, than what we had when healthy. With Golladay, with Marvin, with Amendola, with Agnew, with Hall, this receiving group was as good, if not better, than that receiving group with Calvin, Nate Burleson, Titus Young, that kind of thing. Okay? And yet somehow this offense isn't explosive. Why? It's because of the style that we are trying to play with, in my opinion. The style we're trying to play with, I think T brought it up, is that Stafford looks like they're trying to play like Tom Brady. Stafford's not Tom Brady. He's never been Tom Brady. Stafford's not a guy that plays, we're trying to play complementary football. The Lions are trying to be a complementary football team. That's what they're trying to mold to. They're trying to be a complementary football team similar to the style that we've seen the Patriots play for years. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's his vision, but it's not working with this quarterback. So something needs to change, because what we have in Matthew is not a complementary football type of quarterback. That's not who he is. He's never been that way. Even when Caldwell was here, he had double-digit interceptions. And I think that's why we had our year with Jim Bob Cooter, where he had the first time in a long time without 4,000 passing yards. Didn't look the same. The only time Stafford looked the same in those, that playoff year in 2016, things like that, we're at the end of games. And we're still saying that. That's the only time Stafford looks like old Stafford, right? Is when, we 2-minute drill. You don't see it throughout the game, because we are not playing Stafford as to what he is. We're acting like Stafford is something that he's not. Matthew Stafford is not Tom Brady. That's not who he is. So if you want Tom Brady, he's not your guy, because that's not how he plays. Matthew Stafford's style is not like that. So when you look at Matthew Stafford's stats first half, 16 for 18, he looks good. He's dinking and dunking it. But this offense just doesn't look right. Say whatever you want. The offense does not look right now with Matthew Stafford. There's no questioning it. It doesn't look the same. Matthew Stafford does not look good in this offense. He doesn't look comfortable. There's absolutely no rhythm. Matthew Stafford doesn't look like he's having fun in this offense. There's no fun. They score. There's no fun in his offense. He looks like he's nervous, and some people even see that. He looks nervous. He looks, he just doesn't look right. It doesn't look like the fun Matthew Stafford that's yelling, that's chucking the ball, that's taking shots. That's not what he looks like on the field. Okay? It's something that has to do without Golladay, but that can't be the only time you take shots. The thing is, this offense to me is trying to be so much complementary to our defense. We're trying to build complementary, own time possession. Think about it. We won time in possession today, and we lost, and the game wasn't close. We're trying to own time possession. We're trying to be a complementary football team. Don't turn the ball over. Establish the run game. Be a running team, almost a run-first team. We basically are a run-first team. We're a run-first team that wants to establish a run game, that wants to own time possession, and that just wants to not turn the ball over. Just don't turn the ball over. Stafford will mix in every once in a while, will let you go deep, but don't turn the ball over, and all of a sudden we'll be fine. We can help our defense out that way. But the problem is right now is that that's not how it's going. Why? Because Stafford isn't that type of quarterback. He's not the kind of guy that's going to go out there, play complimentary football, throw for 6 yards per attempt, and have no picks and have 1 touchdown. That's not his style. He's not confident. He's been doing this since back in high school. This is not the way he's played football. All of a sudden, we're trying to act like, hey, look, we're going to play the Patriot way. We're going to play complimentary football, and that's fine. That's not a bad idea, but it's not for Stafford. It's just not the right fit. These two aren't fitting well together. And I think what we saw last year, Darrell Bevell's first year here, it wasn't the same. We didn't see the same thing. We saw him take a lot of shots. Darrell Bevell's first year here. Now in his second year, we've seen it everywhere Darrell's went. They tried to mold to become a run-first team. And now the problem is that we own so much time in possession, and we have these methodical drives, 7, 8 minutes, and then it ends in a missed field goal, it ends in a pick. The game's over because we don't have the explosiveness. How many times do we go up-tempo? We used to go up-tempo a lot with Matthew when he was younger. That doesn't happen anymore. There's no up-tempo pace. I know Stafford wants a 100-yard rusher, but if we're being real with ourselves here, you can get in a 100-yard rusher while still playing up-tempo, while still having Matthew Stafford feel comfortable. Stafford's not comfortable. He doesn't look right in this offense. And I believe that that's the problem right now, is that we can't afford to turn the ball over. We can't afford to make mistakes because we are not explosive enough offensively to make up for it. Our defense is better than last year. Our defense is average in every statistical category basically coming into this game. And yet somehow we're 3-4 coming in. Why is that? And if you look at the games that we lost, what's the common denominator? The turnover battle. We lost the turnover battle. Last game, a strip sack and a pick. The thing is, in the past, we could win with a couple turnovers. I would like to see that stat. How many games have we won where we lost the turnover battle with Matt Patricia? How many? Not many. And I'm not saying it's okay to turn the ball over. I'm just saying Stafford isn't the fit, I don't think, for what they're trying to do offensively. It's not working. In the past, I've seen the Lions have 5 turnovers to win a football game. It's like, how in the world that they're the first team ever to have 5 turnovers in football? That's because they're so explosive where you have to take Stafford for what he is. Stafford is what he is. He's a gun-slinging quarterback. He has that mentality. He's an up-tempo. There's a reason why he's the best quarterback in 2-minute drills. There's a reason. That's who he is. Stafford's not Tom Brady. He doesn't fit. That's how I see this. He's not Brady. He doesn't fit what they want to do. And that's the problem I see with this offense. That's honestly the problem that I see with this team right now. Is because Matthew Stafford is not the correct fit at quarterback for what they want to do offensively. So something needs to change. Either Darrell Bevell needs to say, hey, look, we have to change this because it's not working. If you're telling me that this offense looks okay, then you have no idea what you're talking about. This offense is completely underperforming, and you know it, and I know it. Coming in there, you had way higher expectations than this. I'm not talking about the defense because I have such a big problem with what our offense is doing. He's not Tom Brady. Matthew Stafford is not a complimentary quarterback. He is a gunslinger, and he has been since he went to college. Since high school, he's been a gunslinger. You can't change who he is. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You have to play to what he does. If you're going to rock with him, you need to learn to play with him. You need to learn to make him comfortable. That is your guy, and he does not look comfortable. We cannot win a game while learning to... We can't lose a turnover battle and win a football game. It doesn't happen because there's no explosiveness. This isn't Brady. This isn't Dink and Dunk. This is Matthew freaking Stafford, and we act like he's not. But he is. He will turn the ball over. He's not going to play every game perfect. He shouldn't have to play him perfect. And we didn't always play perfect. But now all of a sudden, when he throws picks, we lose. Why are his numbers dipping? Stafford's best years come with a lot of interceptions. Why? Because that's who he is. That's who he is. No reason to lie to ourselves. He's not a complimentary quarterback. He is a gunslinger that wants control of the offense. And that's why when you saw us go in that little rhythm with him passing it the whole drive, we moved the ball down the field and we scored a touchdown. We were 16 for 18. But all of a sudden we try to mix in the handoff single back, play complimentary football, take no shots. There's going to be picks. That's who he is. He's going to throw picks. So knowing that he's going to make those decisions and he's going to force things that maybe aren't there, we've always seen under Stafford, he's going to force things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's who he is. We can't say that, okay, Stafford's going to be different. He's not going to play that way anymore. That's who he is. That's who he's always been. That's who he's been with the Lions. And it's dumb to say that and ignore it and act like he's not. That's who he is. He's been here this entire career. He's been here for over a decade, and we act like we don't know what to expect out of this guy. That's who he is. He will turn the ball over, but he can also put up 40-plus touchdowns in a season. He can also have 5,000 yards in a season. But we're basically saying we're going to make you uncomfortable. We're going to take away that rhythm that you like in. Plus, you're going to still throw your picks because you're trying to get yours. You're trying to still be aggressive because that's your nature. And that's killing us because we have these long methodical drives. We have no explosiveness. So when we're down, it's over. It's over. It's pretty simple. The coaching staff needs to realize that, hey, this is who he is. If we're going to win games, because, hey, you got to win football games. If you don't get fired this week, you're lucky because you could be. So get through this week and start winning games. How are we going to turn the season around? Barring, hopefully, Stafford's healthy. I'm hoping he is. You have to understand who he is. Forget what you know. Okay, forget that, hey, we brought in Peterson, so we're going to play behind Peterson. Forget it. It's not Marshawn Lynch. Okay, this is not Seattle. This is not Minnesota back in the late 2000s. This is Matthew Stafford, and this is a guy that's always been this type of quarterback. Play to what he is. If after the season you're like, look, that's not how we like it, we want to find something else, go for it. But your best chance, I guarantee you, Matt, Daryl, your best chance to win football games this year is by letting Stafford be the old Stafford. Go back and watch some games when he was with Schwartz. Go back and watch those games and just see, okay, well hold up. Let's just go check. Go watch the highlights from those games. Some of their comebacks against the Raiders. Those teams were scoring, in times 30 plus. Made the playoffs 3 times with Matthew Stafford. 1 year, your defense just basically carried you through it, okay? Because, your defense was one of the best in the league. But if you look at the other 2 years, 2011 and 2016, and you look at their defense in those years, in terms of yards, one of those years, they finished 18th, which is below average. And the other year, they finished like 23rd or something. This season, they're 13th. The defense is better in terms of yards. So why aren't we winning games? This team's not doing that. If you want to have a chance to save your job and somehow, some way make an unexpected, unlikely, a super improbable turnaround to the season, play Matthew Stafford for what he is. And if after the year you find a way to save your job and you're like, you know what, that's not how I like it, I want to be a complimentary team, then look for someone else. But for now, this is what you have. This is what you have. So understand what you have and let him lead you. Don't try to come back on this season through Adrian Peterson. I like AP. He's a great guy that can get mixed in. But don't try to come back in this season behind AP, behind a guy that was released by Washington. Okay, I think that kind of tells you all you need to know. You have a highly paid quarterback with all this talent and all these receivers. All you have to do is let him be Matthew Stafford. All you have to do is let him be Stafford. Just don't make him be what you want him to be. Understand what he is, play to what he is, and see where the season goes. Because at this point, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? At this rate, you're not going to win another football game, man. You're not going to win another game doing what you're doing. You're not scoring 30 points, so who cares? Daryl, go watch some home film. Come out of this with a different idea. Tell Patricia, hey, look, we're doing this a little bit differently. I want to try something with Stafford. And then all of a sudden, when you get those picks, it's not game over. Because you know they will put up some more points. They'll be more explosive. They'll have faster drives. And then you'll always have a shot in the game. Right now, it ain't happening. When you think of Matthew Stafford, what do you think of? Do you think of a field general? Do you think of a dink and dunk guy? You think of a guy that is known for his arm talent. Everybody says Matthew Stafford has one of the most talented arms of all time. They don't bring up his dink and dunks. They don't bring up his ability to be a field general. They bring up a guy that's fiery, that's passionate, that wants the ball. He's clutch, and he likes to take shots. That's who he is. He's got the arm talent. Some of the issue here is this, is that when you look at the Lions rushing so far this season, they're not running the ball well. They're trying to be a run-first team, but they're not rushing the football well, right? So far this year, 4 yards per carry. That's not very good. It's well below average. Last season, on a season, 4.1 yards per carry. But before Stafford went down, it was just over 3 yards per carry, right? We weren't running the ball again very well last season. So you have to understand what your strengths are as a team and what your weaknesses are as a team, and you have to adjust to that. Now, my point isn't this, okay, yeah, go I form, and then all of a sudden on third down, chuck it so your yards per attempt gets high. Because, yeah, if you look at his yards per attempt under Darrell Bevel, it's high. He has a high yards per attempt. I get that. But that's not what you see on the field, right? What you see on the field is not what the stats show us here. What we've seen from old Stafford is spread it out, let him take some shots on his own. Don't force it, right? I felt like, sometimes we force the shot. Say, okay, here's the option. Here's the deep route. Take the deep route. Don't force it. Let him spread him out. Make some plays by scrambling around, things like that. Then all of a sudden you'll get those organic shots, not the ones that you're forcing. We're forcing deep passes on Stafford to get that yards per attempt up, and that's why it's so high, because we're an offense that's built for a different type of quarterback. We are built for a Tom Brady type of offense, because it's handoff, play action, deep shot. That's kind of what this is. That's not Stafford. Spread it out. Let Stafford play out the gun. Again, 16 for 18 before half, spreading it out, taking some shots. He only was 6.6 yards per completion, which is honestly pretty low. But again, even in that, when you do that and you do it consistently, you let him spread it out, you let him take shots out of that, the offense moves the ball. But again, you have to understand that, look, there's going to be picks that comes with this. He's going to throw interceptions, but keep the rhythm. Stop getting off schedule. Stop ruining the whole rhythm and whatever's working. If it's working, it works. You can go to a passing team if it's working. This team had 3 cornerbacks out and you scored 20 points. This is not a good pass defense. They were missing 3 starting corners and you put up 20. I don't care if he throws 2 picks. You should still score more than 20 points. You had 2 blocked punts. All right, so look, spread the ball, keep the up-tempo, get a rhythm going. There's no rhythm right now with Stafford. It's too much of a slow-paced, own-time possession type of offense. It's get up-tempo. It's spread him out. Let Stafford run it like it's a 2-minute drill for a lot of the game. It's that. That's what we need to see more of. Run it out of the gun. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, but something's got to change. You at least might as well try something different because right now it's not working. Because right now, this offense is not working. And guess what? You only have 8 weeks left, and that might be, you may not even have 8 weeks left of your coaching career. So just understand that. That's who Brady was in college. Matthew Stafford is not Brady. That's not who he was in college. And that's why he doesn't look right. That is the problem with this team right now. Because this offense is underperforming. And it's partly Stafford. But it's also how they are playing him. Because look, this team needs to play Stafford like Stafford. And if you're not going to, then find someone else. Because that is who he is. That's who he is. That's who he is. And that's why other coordinators will have more success with him. And that's why other teams can have more success with Stafford as their quarterback, because you have to understand who he is. No one ever talks about Stafford and says, yeah, that guy, he's nice at, moving the ball down the field slowly. Stafford's a gunslinger. This dude's got a big rocket arm. That's what he is. That's what he was out of the draft. They said that coming out of the draft, this guy's got a big arm. Because that's who he is. That's who he is.